Greetings and salutations. Welcome to a video about audio. Today we're going to be taking a look at a whole big stack of 45 RPM records that come with their picture sleeves. I've been doing a lot of collecting over the summer. I figured I'd share this with you guys because I got such a big stack, especially yesterday. The last haul that I got was pretty amazing. Some people really like these videos and some people don't. And if you're one of those people that does, thank you for being here. And if you don't, go find something else to watch, okay? We're going to do this in two parts, actually. The first one is records with picture sleeves. And then we're going to do a video where I'm going to show you some records that either came in plain sleeves or company sleeves that were kind of interesting in this last batch. We start out with an iconic record from the 80s, from 1984. This is Aha, Take On Me. And this is the picture sleeve version, and then I actually have a stock copy of this as well. There are two records in here. Sometimes I have them that way. If I had a record before, a duplicate, then I'll keep the duplicate, and usually I'll try and put the one in better condition in the actual picture sleeve. Okay. From 1980, Poco, Under the Gun. You might remember that band. They had a couple of hits in the late 70s and late 80s. This was not one of them, but it did show up in a batch of 45s, and it was in a very lovely picture sleeve. Talking Heads, Burning Down House. That was a big record for Talking Heads, and this is the picture sleeve version on Sire Records. This was the lead single from one of the David Lee Roth albums from the mid-80s, California Girls. There are two mixes here. The one on side A is the short radio mix, and the other side is a remix. And this is marked as being from the forthcoming album, so that's pretty cool when you get one that has that on it. That means it's the lead single. Here's Election Day from Arcadia in a picture sleeve. And I don't know a great deal about this band. I have a feeling this was a Duran Duran offshoot, and I was going to look that up before I did the video so I could speak with authority, but I can't now, so they sound like Duran Duran to me, I'll tell you that much. Here's a song that was a big chart hit, and it sold very well, but some radio stations in the U.S. didn't play it. Gloria Loring and Carl Anderson. What a great record that is. And Friends and Lovers. I had to look at it because I'm old and I forget things like this. But yeah, this was a big hit in 1987 when this was released. Some of the radio stations in the U.S. wouldn't play it because it didn't really fit in with the rock format. It's really kind of a AC, kind of a slower tune, but great song nonetheless. Another iconic song from the 80s, Tony Basil's Mickey. And I also have a stock copy here in with the record in the picture sleeve. Stuck With You, the lead single from Huey Lewis's album 4, which came out in 1986. And the flip side of this is actually interesting because they took a song from Huey Lewis's very first album called Don't Ever Tell Me That You Love Me and put it on the other side, which tells me that the record company anticipated that that album would produce a lot of hits, which it did. Vocal group, 1987. This is the Nylons. This is Kiss Him Goodbye, a remake of the Steam classic from 1969. They completely rearranged it. If you play both songs together, they sound very different, but it's still cool indeed. This was also another song that you probably didn't hear on a lot of mainstream top 40 because basically it's a doo-wop record. And it appeared on a lot of AC stations, but it was a pretty big hit nonetheless. The Curly Shuffle, Jump in the Saddle Band. This is a pristine original version of this song. This came out, what, 83, 84? Correct me in the comments. You guys can tell me. And this is, of course, about the Three Stooges doing the Curly Shuffle. I have a reissue that Atlantic did on their oldies series of this record, and so that will go into the files. Now y'all might know that Rick Springfield was a musician who tried to make it for years and years and years, and he took an acting job just because he had to pay the bills, and he ended up on General Hospital. He lived in Los Angeles, and anyway, he got this job, and when he got on General Hospital, the record company said, let's try it again, Rick. And they put out an album, and it turned out to be a smash hit because now he was a household name because he was on this daytime TV series called General Hospital, which was very popular in the U.S. Well, they tried that again in the later 80s with this guy, Robert Wagner, and he had a pretty big hit with a song called All I Need, which is actually a good record. What year was that? 84. And it was very shortly after Rick Springfield had Jesse's Girl come out, which was the big hit that kind of really launched his career, although he had been around and he had had hits before that. Here's a British band that never really caught on in the U.S., Squeeze, and this is Hourglass, an original in the picture sleeve. Very cool record indeed. They bubbled under on the U.S. charts. Here's a guy that'll start a fight, Billy Squier. Some people thought he was a poser, and some people thought he was a real rock musician. I'll leave that up to you. This is one of his biggest, Rock Me Tonight, the original picture sleeve on Capitol Records. From the movie, starring, what's his face there? I'm having a mental block on this man's name, Eddie Murphy. That's right, from 48 Hours. No, not 48 Hours. That's another movie Eddie Murphy was in. This is Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F theme. It says it right here on the dang thing, man. Beverly Hills Cop. It's right there, and I still got it wrong. Okay. The ginkgo ain't working, man. I'm telling you. Asia, the lead single from the album that came out in 1982, which was a big blockbuster record. This is The Heat of the Moment. And this is a big record from that year. The radio stations in my area did not play this version of this song. This is the 45 single version of Men Without Hats, and of course it's Safety Dance. What I heard on the radio was the 12-inch remix, and I remember going to the store and paying my hard-earned grass-cutting money, because I was just a wee little baby teenager when this record came out, and being disappointed when I got it home because it wasn't what I heard on the radio. But I went back and listened to this again now, and I kind of like the short version, although I have the 12-inch. Story about, this is one of my favorite songs of all time, gang. This is Naked Eyes, Promises, Promises. And this song came out in 1983. It made it to a number 11 pop in the U.S., number 1 adult contemporary. I think it charted on the R&B charts as well, but I don't know how it did. I wanted the original single, so I actually ordered this one, which is the British single for Promises, Promises. And I bought it online from a record store in London. See, it's an original EMI single. Got it over here, and I was kind of disappointed. It didn't sound like the original that I had heard on the radio. Well, apparently, when they released it in the U.S., and here is the U.S. Naked Eyes, Promises, Promises. Why don't you put that right side up? Okay, I will. And this one is slightly different. It is a slightly different mix, and they also pitched it up a little bit, so it's more lively than the original here. Of course, if you go and get the album that goes along with this, the version of Promises, Promises that's on that album is completely different than the single. Oop, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, TV stars that tried to launch music careers continues. I'm almost ashamed to show this one, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure because I actually kind of like the song. This is Don Johnson, who is a big star on Miami Vice, if you'll recall. It's called Heartbeat from '86. And here's it's the record right here. This is the 45. Phil from Hitstown, USA is a friend of mine, and he played that one time on his channel, and I remember laughing at him about that and joking on him. So guess what? You can, if you see in this video, Phil, you are more than welcome to joke on me. Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night, his breakthrough hit from 1984. I like the follow-up to this song, as well, which was It's Not Enough, if you remember that one, but that one only made it to like number 23 or something. This one was a top 10 hit, and I have 2 copies. This is an original without the picture sleeve, and this is a picture sleeve version. Both of them are in really good condition. Another record I remember buying with my grass cutting money so many years ago. Laura Branigan from 1984, The Lucky One. Great song at the height of her career there. And this is also another one where I have 2 of them in the sleeve. But this copy that I got yesterday is brand new. It never was played. All right, we're ending up the picture sleeves with an extravaganza. We have 3 in a row from the same artist. Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Bad Boy. Absolutely pristine copy. And I have these in Polly's sleeves because that's how I got them. I bought these from a collector. I really need to go through and put sleeves on all my records, but that's a project for another day, and I would need thousands of them. Probably need to take a week off from work as well. Here's another one from her. This is I Bet You Say That. This wasn't a huge radio hit in the US, but it's a great song. And then finally, one of my very favorites from her, Can't Stay Away From You. All of these are on Epic Records. All of these are polystyrene. Anything on Columbia or Epic or Chrysalis, pretty much you can bank on it being polystyrene from the 70s and 80s because Columbia owned the injection molding process to do that. And just about everything they ever put out was in good old polystyrene. So those are the picture sleeves, and we're going to move on to number 2 here. You will have to click that video, but for me it will be just a couple of seconds to get set up for the next round. So see you then.